Hello, you see a compass, the needle is pointing this way. So is that the north direction? Now in the first place, why does the Earth have a magnetic field? Oh, it's because there's some molten matter and then for some reason they are doing this convection current loops. So it's kind of like there's all these electric currents, all these solenoids, and voila, you got a magnetic field. Well, you can tell I know shit about this. But the idea is, the Earth is kind of like a gigantic bar magnet. Well, gigantic in size, but not so strong in the field strength. But anyway, if it's gigantic bar magnet, where is its north pole and where is its south pole? Since compass needles point northward, the direction of the magnetic field must be like this, yeah, and not the other way. If that's the case, then this has got to be the south pole of the imaginary bar magnet, and this is the north pole. Remember, the magnetic field lines must come out from the north pole and re-enter at the south pole. Now let's bring in the inhabitants of Earth. Now, do you realize that if you're somewhere near the equator, then yeah, the magnetic field is pointing northward. But if you're somewhere here, well, you can say that the magnetic field has a northward component. And what about when you're here? What's the direction of Earth's magnetic field? That's why if you're on the equator, the magnetic field is horizontal, pointing towards the north. If you're in the northern hemisphere, the magnetic field actually has a downward component. There's an angle of dip. If you're somewhere in the southern hemisphere, the Earth's magnetic field actually has an upward component because there's an angle of elevation. Somewhere at the North Pole, the magnetic field is actually vertically downward, and your compass is pretty useless because the needle will be pointing downward vertically. The opposite happens if you are somewhere at the South Pole. The magnetic field will be almost like vertically up. It doesn't tell you north, south, east, west at all. And that's not all. In fact, the Earth's magnetic field is not even aligned with the Earth's rotational axis, meaning the magnetic North Pole is some distance away from the geographic North Pole. And the geographic South Pole is also some distance away from the magnetic South Pole. So depending on where you are, your compass needle may actually point slightly eastward or westward. And at some places, especially near the North Poles and South Poles, the deviation from the true north can be a lot. And that's not all. The Earth's magnetic field is actually shifting all the time. So people who use compasses here actually have to keep updating the position of the magnetic North Pole. So the next time somebody tells you that the compass needle points to the north, you can tell them, well, it points in the direction of the Earth's magnetic field, which may not be northward. Depends on where you are. Alright, that's all. Ta-ta!